All right, welcome everyone. We're going to pick up where we left off in the last video with our lighthouse. And we are going to use our lighthouse to create windows with Boolean modifiers. So to be able to do this, remember that we have a Boolean modifier called difference that takes away whatever is touching. So we're going to use a cylinder to take away parts of our lighthouse, make it look like it has little windows. So to do that, I'm going to need a cylinder. So I'm going to go to my Create tab, and I'm going to add a cylinder. Now, obviously, this is way too big for a window. We want to make sure that our window is nice and small. So I am going to scale this cylinder down quite a bit. And then I'm also going to use my side view and use R to rotate this cylinder to the side. Like that. So now I've got a cylinder that's kind of stuck in my lighthouse. So what I want to do to be able to make a window is I'm going to actually use the cylinder, stick it in the lighthouse, and then take it away. So I'm going to be using difference to achieve this. So I'm going to slide the cylinder into the lighthouse, and I want to make sure it's pretty centered. So I'm going to put it over a little bit. Now if we look nice and close, the cylinder is going to make a hole inside this lighthouse. Now the tricky thing about difference is we always want to make sure we select the shape that is going to have the hole in it first. We want to select the lighthouse first. And then remember that on our little tabs up here, we're looking for the guy that looks like a wrench. So we're looking for that guy. Underneath the wrench, we're going to add a Boolean modifier. And remember, we're taking away here. We want the cylinder to be removed from the lighthouse. So we are going to choose difference as our modifier. The only thing that's left to do is say, okay, if you want to apply a difference modifier to this lighthouse, what do you want to take away? We want to take away the cylinder. So we select cylinder. Now remember also that nothing's going to happen until we click apply. So let's check our stuff here. We've picked our lighthouse. We've added a Boolean modifier. We've made it difference so that it's going to subtract stuff away. And we chose the cylinder. So let's apply that. Now let's move this cylinder out. You can see we've got a little window here. Now if I want to, I can do that a couple more times to be able to get a whole pattern of windows on our lighthouse. You may notice that some of the smoothing gets a little weird when we use Boolean modifiers. Don't worry too much about that. Normally we would have used the modifiers before we smooth. So don't worry if you're seeing some weird shading or smoothing here. We're going to ignore that for now. A lot of that will get fixed when we start using textures and materials, which we'll talk about next. So don't worry too much about what's going on here. All we're doing is creating some windows by adding Boolean modifiers. Oh, the lighthouse. Remember to always add it to the lighthouse. And selecting selecting cylinder. There we go. We apply that, and then we pull this guy out, and we've got another window. You can see how we can keep making windows all the way around using our cylinders and our Boolean modifiers. Just want to make sure we're always adding the modifier to the lighthouse, not to the cylinder. So next time, we'll talk about how we color the lighthouse, how we make this top part look like glass. We'll end up with some pretty cool looking effects for our lighthouse.